We are live. We're going to do this a different way. This episode is going to be done a different way with our guest today. And so, yeah, we just going to do it the way we need to do it. Okay? We're going to make it work the way we gotta work through life, the way we gotta work through life. So I just want to make sure you guys are able to follow for the full episode. I definitely want to wait until Ashleigh gets on here because her story is bomb. So before she gets on here, we are on episode 10 of Claiming My Abundance podcast. And this podcast is sponsored by CMA Academy, where faith-based women, helping them unpack, heal, tap into their trauma, their superpower, and scale their business to 6 figures and beyond, okay? So if you are looking for any of those services, or if you know somebody who can benefit from literally that particular healing journey that they're going through and creating a legacy, all they have to do is text coach to 470-466-9464, okay? But we are going to get into this episode. This episode is called Designing Your Way Through Life with Ashleigh, owner of Ashleigh Designs. I cannot wait till she get on here so she can unpack. Listen, it is so important to unpack and don't be afraid of your truth. Healing really starts when you own up to what you've been through. Like when you are real with yourself and you internalize that trauma didn't happen to you, it happened for you. So as soon as Ashleigh get on here, she's gonna get real raw with you guys. So if you have to shed a tear or, type in a comment if anything resonate with you. But I am definitely here for her success, how she turned her domestic violence, relationship into a huge love story. Then shortly after, she birthed Ashleigh Designs, okay? And she birthed a business. So understand when you're going through something traumatic and you're like, my life is over, God is testing you. But it's also to show that God is about to give you a crazy breakthrough that you probably thought you wouldn't survive, but Ashleigh survived. So as soon as she get on here, we are going to talk about how she survived and what that looks like, okay? So for now, if you guys want to get the full episode, you can go to Apple and Spotify, Claiming My Abundance. And when I tell you guys, the guests, they're dropping gems, they're being raw and uncut, they're not holding nothing back. Go follow us on Apple and Spotify, Claiming My Abundance, all right? So drop some ones in the chat if you have been in a situation where you thought God was not going to bring you out. If you thought God wasn't going to bring you out the situation, but God brought you out the situation.
We did it. Okay.
Yes. So let me reintroduce the whole tone again of this live. Everybody, we are on episode 10 of Claiming My Abundance podcast. The title is Designing Your Way Through Life. Because she has a designing company, I thought that would be a really, really great title and topic. Ashleigh is amazing. Me and her met, I'll say, about 3-4 years ago. And it was because I had a consultation with her about designing, rebranding my business at the time. And so ever since then, I've just been following her amazing story. I'm telling you guys, she does not look like what she's been through. And you guys are about to hear, look how good she looks. Look how good she looks. So you guys are about to hear the truth behind her smile, the truth behind the trauma. But again, I reached out to Ashleigh because I knew there was a story. I knew there was a story. And I really wanted to, broadcast it, and she was willing to. So Ashleigh is the owner of Ashleigh Designs. And listen, when I tell you top tier luxury designing for your business, if you do not use her services, you do yourself a disservice. So So we are going to allow Ashleigh to introduce herself. Again, we are on episode 10, Designing Your Way Through Life. And listen, before we get into this episode, if you are like, I want to be a part of a community of women that can understand me, like-minded, they're real, they're raw, and they've been through some trauma that they're healing every day, go follow us on the Claiming My Abundance Facebook group, okay? It's all love there. All right, so Ashleigh, I appreciate you. Thank you. You have the floor.
Okay, my name is Ashleigh Neville. I've been an entrepreneur for about 3 years now. Woo woo. Full time, yes. And my business is Ashleigh Designs. I'm a graphic and a graphic designer and brand strategist. I do web development for branding, from brand materials like promoting, like with business cards, logos, all of that good stuff. We have photography, everything. So if you ever need full branding, come holler at your girl.
Exactly. Yes. Well, again, thank you so much for just everything you have to offer to the world, your amazing story, and being brave, being brave enough to literally be okay with saying, I went through here because God had to take me there. Okay. Right. And I always say, Ashleigh, like, what we have to grow through, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. Right. So I definitely want to get into this podcast episode and talk about this. So let's start off with asking, what did healing look like for you? Like, what did healing look like for you?
It was rough. It was very ugly. I think I learned a lot about myself, as far as like why I even end up in a type of situation like that. I think too was a lack of self-love, even down to self-confidence. I feel like sometimes when we don't take care of ourselves or we don't love ourselves enough, we find ourselves in situations that could be dire. Because we're looking for something, like whether it's being alone, loneliness, it also down to daddy issues. A lot of times when you have an absent parent, especially a father figure, I didn't have the best relationship with my father until I was an adult. So he was there. He was there, but it was more so that emotional connection. I think that, it's different from others. Like, we naturally have that where we're like, just nurturing and compassion. Daddies are a little bit tougher sometimes. So it was definitely, I felt like that played a part in that. I mean, I do love my dad, but you know what I'm saying? We didn't be able to see eye to eye and like actually have a deep, in-depth conversation about like my feelings until I became an adult. So So, but yeah, it's long. I'm still healing. I think healing journey is ongoing. I feel like too, when you find the right person, you're gonna still have triggers because you're like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. And you were just in a situation where it was like just chaos. That person was showing you all of these things. But having a partner who actually loves you and is willing to hold your hand, not because they can't heal for you. You have to do it by yourself. But knowing that you got somebody like rooting down the line while you keep going, because you're going to fail a lot of times. Like, you're going to have moments where you're like, yo,
what's happening?
Can I do this? Like, can I really do this? Get through this?
Absolutely.
Because you're gonna have days where you're really down and you're just like, God, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, what direction am I going in? Am I like healing, or am I being toxic for someone else?
Literally.
So yeah, I've had moments like that. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, you're gonna have triggers, and you don't really see those triggers until you're in a healthy relationship. And which can cause you to actually mess up your healthy relationship because you still have those triggers. And I feel like therapy is really important. That definitely helped me. So anybody who's been through something traumatic, especially with domestic violence and abuse, definitely see a therapist and talk it out, because you're definitely going to have triggers in your relationship. And your partner, if they're unaware of your situation, or if you don't feel comfortable enough to tell them yet, they might be looking at you like, girl, like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you so intense? Or like, if they touch you a certain way, it causes you to, feel away, or you have a trigger there. Like, definitely ongoing.
Absolutely. So what were some of your triggers that, even like you said, because healing is an ongoing thing. Right. Healing is an everyday thing, no matter if you're 18 or 38. And that's what I'm learning to understand, Ashleigh. Like, the past 4 months, it's been a lot of different traumas that I've experienced, whether it was entrepreneurial or romantically, on a personal side. So it's ongoing. But for you, what were some, as you were healing, what are some of those triggers, right? Because even as you're healing, you're still going to be triggered. Like, what are some of the triggers you had to heal from or still healing from because of the relationship?
I think it seeming too good to be true. Like, you constantly going back into that state where, you're comparing. Like, right. Oh, well, he was like that in the beginning. How do I know? Is he going to be abusive? Like, or him buying me flowers because after he hit me, to make things better. Like, he buying me flowers now. So, like, you know what I mean? Is this his way of showing me that, okay, you buying me flowers because you're going to do the same thing? Like, you're still in an unhealthy state of mind because you're comparing the nice gestures that somebody that actually is showing you love with the person who used that as a way of an apology or to make up what they did to you. So it's like you going back and forth, and you don't need to do that because you'll end up going in a relationship trying to compare what your last partner did to what your current partner is doing. Like, they're buying you flowers because they actually love you, not because of them hitting you and then saying, here, this is my apology for giving you a black eye. You know what I mean? So it's like you still comparing that good gesture with something bad, and there's no correlation there because you have to understand that, listen, you're safe. You're in a healthy relationship. It's okay to let your guard down. And I struggle with that still. Before I met my husband, like, I struggled with, like, taking those good gestures as something equaling gonna be bad. Like, it's too good to be true. Like, he's too perfect. You know what I mean? He's too good to me. Like, when is he gonna mess up? And you end up self-sabotaging yourself and your relationship because you can't let it go.
So Ashleigh, people want to know the meat and potatoes of how, all these triggers or all this trauma was caused, upon you. So can you give us a little synopsis of the domestic violence relationship that you were in? What did that look like? Like, how did you survive, girl?
With my ex, he was very charming, good looking, educated. And that's the thing, abusers wear many faces. So, don't think because you meet someone and they look good on paper that they're an ideal person or a great person. And I think too that I was thinking because him being smart, good looking, financially established, as being ideal, not really kind of looking at like personality being important. Just, it was more physical. It's very shallow, and I can say that on my part because everything that I wanted physically and intellectually from him, it was ideal. But I didn't even think about, like, okay, is he gonna, is he a good person? Is he gonna be a good husband? Is he gonna be a good father? Like, I didn't think about those things. And then, like I said, he was very charming. The relationship was going well. I mean, he bought me flowers. He made me feel beautiful. All the things that a boyfriend spouse is supposed to do. It wasn't until I believe, like, I actually moved out of state with him. It was that whole thing where he wanted definitely having control, and also being away from people that love me because I will only have to solely rely on him because I was in a place where if something happened, where I'm gonna go, he's the only person.
He knew what he was doing, though, Ashleigh.
Yeah, absolutely, very calculated. He also was a narcissist, so yeah. I mean, they do things to a T, and I didn't really know what a narcissist was until I actually had a therapist break down, and I mean, he was textbook narcissist to the T.
Not a
If
textbook.
somebody's picture, it would be his. If you would describe, yes, I mean, and a lot of times people think narcissists are people that are, I guess, mentally ill, like have um just like psychological issues. I mean, which they do, but they're not what you think that they would be. Like
They
I would have
mask it
never
well.
thought yeah, I would have never thought he would be a narcissist. Like if you told me what one was, I wouldn't have looked at him and said, "Oh, he's a narcissist." Because they're able to wear those two faces very well. I
Absolutely.
mean, they can literally turn it off. I mean, it's crazy. He could be one way with me and out in public. I mean, he's a different person. And I
Absolutely.
mean,
For sure.
yeah.
For sure.
So,
You
um,
you tell us, please, what he was doing to you though, Ashley.
um,
That caused the trauma on you.
yeah, I don't. It started off slow. I noticed that he had a temper. If he would easily anger, like if and question me about like where I'm going. If I put makeup on or a sun, like a dress, just to go out, get some fresh air, it would be like, where are you going? Very controlling. I mean, honestly, it started off with like if he would get upset about something, he might punch a wall or he might knock something over. And that was a red flag in itself already. I'm like,
Right.
okay, like,
But you
tell
stayed. So what made you stay?
yeah.
Like punching the wall.
Yeah. And I would say too, I think a lot of times we try to figure out the good. You know how a person is good to you. You
Yeah.
try to say, okay, well, yeah, that's a red flag, but he's this way most of the time. He does this all the time. You try to make excuses for that person because of the good things that they do for you. And the hitting didn't start just immediately when I got there. It was like a gradual thing. Like
Right.
it started off, like I said, with the temper, hitting the wall, jealousy, possessiveness. Like we could go out in public. If another guy, like for instance, like if a waiter tried to talk to me, he could be aggressive with him. Like, why are you staring at her, sir? He's just trying to get my order. It's something like that, like jealous. Somebody, even down to having Facebook and a guy may have commented that I don't even know. Might say, "Oh, you look beautiful." You know how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
guys are on Facebook. You don't know them, but he would question me like, "How you know him?" And I'm like, "What?" It will be an ongoing thing. And then that was the first time we actually like got into it because of something like I didn't even know the person like commenting on my picture, and then that's when like the first time he hit me, and then after that,
Mm.
yeah,
Let's take a
and
second right there. Let's take a second right there because that did something to my spirit. That was the first time he hit you. And I feel like that was the first time, number one, a new identity was created that you didn't know subconsciously because you've never been hit by a
yeah.
man. And number two, that man silenced you. Ashley, what was your response when he hit you?
Girl, I was shocked actually. Like I was really shocked. And honestly, I really didn't know how to feel about it. It was more so like a state of confusion
Right,
because it was like, whoa.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, like he consoled me and kept apologizing. So I just was like, okay, well, maybe he didn't mean to do it on purpose. So basically, after that, it was just excuse after excuse, but then it turned into more like fear, I think, because I got depressed. And I'll even put this personal instance, and ladies, like, so before I met him, I had just got a teaching job for Durham Public Schools, and I had just bought me uh it was a 2015 Corolla, Toyota Corolla. And I did it by myself. I didn't need a co-signer. Like, I was super excited because it was something that I did on my own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
feeling good about yourself.
God. I gotta,
Absolutely.
yes. Like, I was so excited because I was like, this is mine. And it's crazy because, and this is where the manipulation comes in. So when we were together, like I said, he was the breadwinner, he was the provider. So he was providing, paying for everything, right? He would pay for my car, like, you know, monthly payment, whatever, my car payments. And so one day I went outside and my car was gone. So I'm like, where is my car? And he wouldn't tell me what was going on. I found out, well, we ended up seeing the tow truck take my car, and I thought maybe I parked in a space where, um, you know, like it was a tow zone.
Yeah.
What happened was my car got repossessed because he stopped paying on it. And when I found out, like, I was in complete shock. Like, I'm like, what? Like, why wouldn't you tell me this? And then on top of that, what made it worse, his response was, oh, I'll just buy you another one. And he just said it like it was whatever. And I cried so hard because that was something that I was proud of. That was mine, that I bought. So after that, it was like it just went downhill. It was one thing after the next. You know, he was basically taking everything from me. Like, I stopped seeing my friends, so I didn't have any friends at the time. Like, I didn't get to see my family as much because we were 3 or 4 hours away.
Wow.
And he would never let me go down there to see them by myself. Like, once the abuse started, it was he had to be with me. Like, if I wanted to see my family, it was like I had to like get permission, or he would have to come with me. And I know that was because of control. He wanted to make sure that I didn't say anything. But honestly, my mom, she eventually noticed something was wrong. She actually was the first person. And you know, she was like, Ashley, are you okay? And she told him, like, you know, if I don't see Ashley by this date, you know, I'm coming up there. And so he was like, okay, you know, but actually that same week is the week that I actually end up leaving, because the 2 days before my my mother and my sister were supposed to come visit, he like just kind of started pacing back and forth, took my phone, took the house keys and left. Yep.
Oh.
And thank God my mom and, well, my sister actually came and got me, but I thank God because I felt like how angry he was, and knowing, I think he knew that I was getting ready to leave, and so when he found that out, I think like he had planned on doing something. But
I mean, because that's really a I'm not calling him psychotic, but that's a psychotic.
I would say so.
I didn't want to say that.
Like, we're being honest.
But that type of behavior, I worked in a mental health complex, and when they pace around like that, they're either one, you know, contemplating something, contemplating suicide, or contemplating murder. Whatever there is, they're plotting something. So it's like, Ashleigh, you know, how often was he putting his hands on you? You said a lot of different scenarios where he showed insecurity.
It wasn't an everyday thing occurrence, but it was very often.
Okay.
I would say maybe 3-4 times a week. Like, just depending. It wasn't every day, but he would never hit me in the face, though. He would never hit me in the face. I will say that. And that's really because I don't think he wanted people to know or to see. So
wow, that just gave me chills. Okay, so I'm really glad again that you do not look like what you've been through, because everybody, if you're listening to this, ladies, if you're listening to this and you are in a domestic violence relationship right now, she just laid out some signs of a narcissist. I'm like you, Ashleigh. I've never dealt with a narcissist until I dealt with a narcissist and seen what that looked like. So if anybody is dealing with a narcissist, and it's unfamiliar behavior, yet it raises your eyebrows and a red flag, please, ladies, don't keep turning the red flags into green, because it's going to destroy you at some point. And luckily for you, Ashleigh, it didn't destroy you. It actually birthed some things. So I want to go into, when did you discover that you had to heal? Because you went through what you went through with him. You broke loose at some point. But when did you discover, like, I need to take time for Ashleigh to heal before my husband?
When I found out I was pregnant. Yep.
Oh, wow.
When I found out I was pregnant, I knew that I could not let my child grow up in a situation like that. Seeing their mother like be abused, that part for me was the point where I knew I had to let go. And I battled with that, like, because my parents are married, I was like, I don't want to be a single mother. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course, it's crazy because people that during that time that I actually looked to get support from was, I told them about the situation. I'm not going to say who they are, but I looked to them for support, and they told me, like, just don't make them angry. You don't want to take care of a baby by yourself. And that's not what I needed to hear at that time.
Exactly.
Which also caused me to stay a little bit longer, because I did not want that for me. I didn't want my child to grow up without a father. But then I had to think about it. I'm like, this situation is very unhealthy. And I'm like, if he can abuse me, what if he abuses our child? That was something else that I had to think about. Like, what if he gets angry? Like, I wouldn't feel safe enough to leave my baby with him because he's easily angered. So he could try to, I don't know. And I didn't want to take that risk. So I had to make that choice. Like, Ashleigh, are you going to start over? Because at the time I didn't have nothing.
Right.
So I was like, I literally left it.
What did you do with? Tell them what you left with. What you told me before.
With $11, a repossessed car, back to North Carolina. I had nothing, no job, no nothing. I literally had to start from scratch. And I was 4 months pregnant, so it was scary because I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have a baby coming soon, and I don't have any money. I don't have anything. So starting over, and that was really nothing but God, because I literally got everything that I lost, even though it took some time, literally within, I want to say, 4 or 5 months after leaving him, that I got another car. I was able to get another vehicle. I was able to get a job. I started teaching again as an art teacher. And after my son was born, I was like, I don't want to miss any moments, which is why I started Ashleigh Designs, so I could be able to spend time with him. And
so, ladies,
best decision I ever made.
Best decision. But see, again, what looks like somebody's hot mess or disaster, God will literally put you right where you need to be.
Yep, so, and I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, and hearing what she's saying, everybody, it's like, she didn't know what was going to happen, right? But she just knew she had to break loose. And by her breaking loose, I'm sure she was fearful. Self-esteem was low. All type of thoughts that could have kept her there. All type of thoughts that could have kept her there. But God said, I got bigger plans for you. So this is why we know what's happening to us in this very season right now. If you are in a domestic violence relationship, please know it's happening for you. You may not understand it right now, because Ashleigh didn't understand it, but 4 months later, when she let the toxicity go, God blessed her. So if you have some toxic, people, connections, things, habits in your life, once you let it go, you open up the heaven gates. Like, and God don't take long, especially when he knows that your heart is in a different space. That fella heart he needs some healing. He needs some therapy. He needs real life, and maybe outpatient
I think
service.
That's really what the problem was. I think he had some personal demons that he needed to figure out. Yeah, because honestly, I'm not gonna say I think he had his own personal trauma that I felt like he needed to get through. I don't know everything that happened with him growing up. Because, and another red flag is he didn't have a relationship with his mother. So ladies, if you're with a man who doesn't have a good relationship or rapport with their mother, if they bad mouth their mothers, look into that, because
look into that.
Never know.
That's a red flag for
Yeah.
sure.
And
For sure.
And so yeah, definitely.
For sure. Thank you for just being so transparent. So how did healing, and I can just tell everybody on here, we can tell how good she looks, even though people I keep
Thank you.
that, but people can mask things well. But I really feel that I really see and feel Ashleigh's intrinsic value, how she serves, her positive, radiant energy, even through her posts. Yes, she is. You are an epitome of what your business stands for. So it's like, I'm just glad that God did a thing with you, girl. Like, he did a thing so you could do a thing in other people's life. So congratulations to that. But how did healing help you thrive in your personal and business life?
Oh, working on myself for 3 years. I went to therapy. I did a little bit of group sessions with others who, and even talking about it at like domestic violence conferences and things like that, to try to like work through it. Because definitely talking about it definitely helps. And like I said, working on me, focus on being a mother, focus on just overall me being alone for 3 years. I think that definitely made a difference. And then that's when I met my hubby.
Ladies, she met hubby after 3 years. Oh, congratulations. She met him. You're welcome. Listen to what she said, though, ladies. She met hubby after 3 years, like after the storm.
Yeah.
But 3 years of taking time with herself. So if you all are in that space where you like, I just got out of a relationship, maybe it's been a good 6 months or maybe a year and a half, and you're like, you think that you're ready for love again, just wait till God bring it. Just give yourself time to really define love for yourself. It's easier said than done. But I had to even find love for me when I came in a space where it was just me and God. And how I knew, Ashleigh, that I was preparing for something different and God was preparing me for something different, considering I dealt with narcissists too, is when I came to a point where I didn't even want a lot of men texting or calling my phone. I didn't care about entertaining a whole bunch of guys, not even not happy, but good morning, beautiful text, So really allowing myself to just feel how I need to feel and love on me like wholeheartedly. So great job for that. So hubby came and and how is that going?
I know this is like so unprofessional, but can I like pause it for 1 second? My daughter just woke up and I can hear her crying.
Go ahead.
Can I bring her in there?
Please bring her in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. So I'm just going to keep talking. As you all see that this beautiful queen has really went through some storm. And it's like this type of healing is necessary. These type of conversations is necessary, which is why, I was obedient and put Claiming My Abundance podcast together, because it helps me, right? These women and their experiences and the different ways they had to heal and what they had to heal from, it actually blesses me as well, right? So understand that you're not alone. Don't be embarrassed because you were in a domestic violence relationship. If anything, speak up and get help and say, I need help. She knew that she needed help, right? She knew that she needed help and she got help. God was her help, but she had a support system, and her as the individual. Yes. I'm glad to see all these comments as well. Hi, baby. They're going to hear on this episode that you are really doing what you say you are doing as a mother and a full-time entrepreneur as well. So hi, gorgeous. She's like, what is happening? So at what point, Ashleigh, did you, because we know that God, you gave yourself 3 years. God brought hubby, another beautiful seed that you were blessed with, your daughter. Yeah, so that's the personal side. But then you also birthed your business. You've been helping. Oh my God. I just your designs are to die for, girl.
Thank you.
It's like, if you don't choose her, why go anywhere else? Tell us a little bit about your success with your business though?
Oh my goodness. So when I started actually leaving teaching, it was the end of, I just kept putting it off. It was the end of 2019. So it was in December, and I was thinking like, oh my God, at the time I didn't know we were going to be in the pandemic like the next year. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take this leap of faith because I kept putting it off for months, and like I saved up. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be good for a couple of months. Let me try it. So I did it. Took a leap of faith. Next thing I know, we hit the pandemic, and I was like, oh my God, like people was losing their jobs. We was in the house. But for me, it actually came out really good because at that time during the pandemic, people were starting businesses because they were losing their jobs, or they got laid off. Some people quit and just decided to go in business for themselves. So I was just getting all of this business, so I was lucky. And then I want to say that following year toward the end, I was like, okay, business is doing good, but I wanted to get better because I was like at a standstill, like as far as like reaching financial goals and things like that.
Right.
So I could really sustain being a full-time entrepreneur.
Right.
And so I hired a coach, and please invest in a coach, y'all.
Get you
if you're trying to, yes, get you a coach, or a mentor, something, because if you're trying to reach certain goals in your business and you don't know, listen, we can't be the jack of all trades. Like sometimes you got to outsource and get additional help. And I knew that if I want to reach a certain goal, I had to find somebody else who had done it because I was struggling with that. So I got a coach. She told me everything that I needed to do. And that following June, I made my first 10K month. And then, yes, I was like, oh my God, yay. So then after that, it kind of like was consistent. And then like I was able, like, let's see, I've had my Audi for about a year. It was like business had been doing well. I was able to purchase my dream car. I always wanted an Audi, so I was able to get my dream car. Yes, and I had to thank everybody for supporting me, y'all, because I couldn't fund it without you. But I mean, like literally, it's crazy how God works because everything that I lost, I end up getting back like triple, even though it took some time through healing. And I felt like God was telling me that, listen, you need to focus on you, build your career, figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to be a better mom. I feel like when you start loving yourself, you'll start getting that energy that you're putting out. So if you're loving yourself, you're going to, energy is transferable. So like when you put love into yourself, you're going to get it back from other people.
Absolutely.
You're going to be surrounded by those type of people that you put out. So I felt like once I was in a state of healing, because I don't think anybody can necessarily heal from everything. I feel like healing, you're always going to be healing from something in life because things happen. That's just the reality. But I think it's a journey, and I feel like once you start, then you'll start seeing that good things happen. And I felt like literally all of like great things happened that year. Like business was doing well. I got to meet my now husband, and then yes, and I prayed I always wanted a little girl. I got one, y'all. Oh, hallelujah. So now I'm a boy and girl mom. And so yes. But most importantly, I pray for somebody who will actually love me, take care of me, not just, physically, but mentally and emotionally, like have a love that I don't have to repair. That was big for me. Yes. Like constantly, dysfunction, a love that you have to constantly try to repair and heal.
Oh my God.
No, I don't want that. Yes. And I feel like having a partner who has already overcame their trauma or dealing with it, I feel like that's really important because I hate to say this, but I feel like when you're with someone who has a lot of brokenness, it's not much you can get out of that. Their cup is not full. It's barely full themselves. So they can't run up over nothing into you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can't give you what they got.
And we're not in the construction business. We're not constructing grown men or grown boys. We're not doing that. Unfortunately, life is about you build your piece and build your space, and I build mine, and we come together and we add into each other's space, not take away because I have to build you. We're not doing that. It's too much.
No,
it's too much.
Especially when they don't want to do the work. Like if you find yourself constantly having to help this person get through like multiple things and they don't put in the work, like they're not willing to seek additional help, then worry. Because at the end of the day, your partner isn't your therapist. You can vent to them and talk to them. They can support you. But at the end of the day, you have to do the work. Like you need a professional to help you.
Yeah.
Stop being afraid to go to therapy, y'all. It's not for crazy people. It's for regular people too. It's healthy to have issues. It's more important. And also, it helps you become better for your children. I also knew that I had to get over this trauma because I didn't want to hinder my son from doing things because of what affected me. Like, I knew that it was like literally bleeding into his life.
Yeah.
Because I had my issues with, like, as far as me being paranoid, I didn't even want to take him to school. Like it was just so many things. Like I'm looking over my shoulder, even though, he's in jail, like as of now. And even though I didn't really go into depth about that, but, if
you did share
my
that.
son's father is in jail for, unfortunately, our attempted murder. And, it's still hard for me to fathom that, but, he is in jail, so he can't hurt anybody anymore. But I will say, ladies, once you see those red flags, please don't ignore them. Don't make excuses for people because they're not going to change. I don't care how many times they tell you. No, he never changed at all. As many times as he told me, girl, I could if I would be a millionaire for every time he told me he was going to do better, and he never did. Okay, it still was.
Dealt with that. I recently dealt with that, and it was as simple as communication. Even though it wasn't like a full narcissist characteristic, but it's just something as simple as communicate. And if a person say, "Okay, I'm gonna do better," but they don't do better. In the beginning they were heavily communicating and courting you, and then you see a change or you see that behavior, and then they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna do better." It happens again. Like this is where trauma is created. That's where trauma. Oh, baby, am I loud? That's where trauma is created. And ladies, we're not in the business of healing to take 10 steps back. So if you encountered something whereby they're not meeting your needs, or they're showing you something that your dad wouldn't show you if you have a healthy relationship with your dad, or just something that is not conducive to you as a woman, baby, don't stay there.
Yeah,
please. But thank you for all of this transparency. I'm really happy, and I want every woman to be like, this is me now, but this could be me if I just let it go. I know it's not.
It's scary. I know it's scary too. Like if you having a word, especially if you have more than one child, but you can do it. You can do it. If you don't have support, find it. Like there's a lot of support groups too, I would say, that I joined that helped me. Even though I did have support like from my parents, I have siblings who stepped in, but if you don't, there's a lot of support groups that will help you get through your trauma. Because it's going to take a village.
It's going to take a village. Absolutely. Don't fight battles alone too. That's my philosophy for 2023.
Yes, because you're gonna find yourself very depressed.
Girl,
You can find yourself very depressed. And I will say that, like, the first part of my pregnancy is being pregnant with my son, with, you know, just this whole situation, and it was very depressing. And it's crazy because when I got back, I didn't realize how, when you're in a DV relationship too, it sucks the life out of you, like, literally. And I went to the doctor to get a checkup for my son just to see how things were going. And he was like, "Oh, like, are you okay? Like, you're so underweight." I was 113 pounds. Like, I was so small.
You didn't have an appetite, did you? You didn't have an appetite, did you?
No, like, I didn't eat. I had lost a lot of weight, and a lot of it was due to depression. And, you know, you don't notice things, but other people do. Like, you know, like, when my family saw me, they were like, you know, you look terrible. Like, it wasn't until, like, I was back home that I felt safe, and I was in a healthier state of mind because I had support that, like, first of all, when I had my son, I was 170 pounds, so you can see how how much I was enjoying being back home. Like, just being in a place of love. Like, I was eating up everything. Like, I was happy. Yes. And it makes a difference when you have support. That's so important, you know. Absolutely. And also, if you decide to leave that domestic relationship, also get help, because it could follow you. I never would have thought that me living out of another state that he would try to come and do something. I literally thought maybe he would just move on, but he didn't. So you have to be careful.
So someone said this. I'll do a little bit engagement now because I have my other phone out. That's why I was looking. Because a lot of people are engaging, Ashleigh, and they're like, "This is so awesome. This is so, you know, necessary. Hello, ladies, I'm here for this." That's what I mean. Like, I knew this topic was going to be very much heavily like expressed, and people will really feel it because a lot of people are, you know, fighting this battle by themselves and inside. So Brianna said, "Glad to be here." And so we have someone said, "I can totally relate. Having been married before to someone with no accountability. Unfortunately, after 10 years of this relationship, my ex-husband does not even have a relationship with our two boys." Wow. But God, I'm in a relationship now that just seems so surreal. You definitely want to come together as healed individuals, right? Ready to put in the work for a healthy partnership. It's so essential. Like, you know how they say, be his peace. No, I don't want to be no man peace.
No, I need you be your own peace. Like, he better come with the peace.
I don't want to be no man peace because, baby, that's a whole nother job. And if I'm trying to run this business and be your peace, and you don't even understand who you are, what makes you happy, I'm not here for that. Yeah, we're supposed to be a helpmate, but I'm not a construction worker. I'm gonna keep saying that word too. Yeah. All right. So, at what point in your life, and you know what? We see so many points in your life, Ashleigh, where you started to claim your abundance. But at what point in your life, if you could think of a pivotal point or a very awakening point in all of this, at what point in your life did you start to claim your abundance?
Oh, man. As soon as I got out of that relationship, I think. I felt like I deserved a better life. My son deserved a better life. Like, I deserved to be loved in a healthy way. Like, I deserve to basically live good. And I owed it to me. It wasn't really for anybody else. Like, you know, a lot of people say that they do things for their children. Yes, it contributes to it, but my healing was for me.
Absolutely.
You know, so I can be the best me. And then, because if I can't be better for myself, then I can't be a good mother. Like, if I'm not together, because we really have to take care of ourselves first, especially if we want to give ourselves to other people. And we all listen. If you're a mama, you already know that being a parent is already hard in itself, even with help. I have a wonderful husband who, you know, takes care of us and makes sure we're good emotionally all the time. But at the same time, it's still hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a job. So make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah. Wow. So That's the point right there. It wasn't attached to any money. It wasn't claiming your abundance wasn't attached to any money, any not even saying, oh, when I got my husband, because it was all about you first, Ashleigh, and that's what I really love. Yeah. So you're like, when you left the relationship, you turned another chapter in your story over. I'm surprised you don't have a book yet. Like, where is your book, man?
You know what? Maybe one day, like, I will literally, go into depth, especially if it helps somebody, especially with the warning signs. And also, ladies, stop being superficial just because a man looks good on paper. You know what I'm saying? Ask more questions. Learn about his past relationships. Learn about his relationships with the women in his life. You know what I mean? And it'll tell a lot. If they don't take accountability at all from past relationships, like why they broke up, or if it's more like the person they're blaming the other person all the time, like, yeah, it was her, she did this, or yeah, that other girl, she did this to me. They're not taking accountability at all. We all have done something to somebody that we could have done better.
That's right.
And I even in that situation, there was things that I could have done better. That's right. Like it wasn't all him, but the abuse definitely played a major part in why I left. It wasn't to the point where, it was something like crazy, but I feel like we all, yes, it's something that we all can do better and work on. But yes, a person that lacks accountability is a red flag anyway, because they're going to always blame you.
Yeah.
Or somebody
Absolutely.
else.
And that's how you're growing too, because I used to be someone, Ashleigh, whereby I couldn't say to the man, I couldn't say, I'm sorry first. I couldn't be, feminine. I wasn't doing those things. Okay. And I wasn't doing those things. And now it's to the point whereby it's like, hey, if somebody tell me, well, you made me feel this way, or you made me, okay, well, I can't take away how I made you feel, but if I care and love you enough, I'll accept it, apologize, and do better if I want you around. Or if my heart is just posture because I'm healing and doing the work, I'm going to be a good person at this point. I'm going to take accountability. And I don't know why it's so hard for us to do that when it doesn't just relieve them, but it relieves you too. To say, okay, I don't have no bad blood with anybody, or I don't have to walk around with, a bad taste. My name have a bad taste in somebody's mouth, So accountability is huge. So yes. So to wrap this up, because this was good. This was amazing.
Yeah.
I actually
maybe we need a part two.
I told you, let's put a bit together in North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, yeah, and we could actually do it based off this. Finding women who are struggling with you.
Yeah, we can. Listen. So I don't know if you got a business number. Text me your business number or personal. Yes. We can just coordinate it. Let's get it going, because this is everything. And I love the comments. Yeah. I love the views. I love that. I love your obedience and your transparency. And I have another level of respect for you now. I have another level of respect for you now, because you're opening up, and I can see your peace. I can see your healing, because you're calm. Nothing, you're not combative about it. You didn't shed a tear. Even if you did, talking about your story, it'll put you in that place. So the last thing, what major gem would you give a woman looking to heal and claim their abundance? What major gem would you give them?
Oh, I would say definitely do some inner healing. Love yourself. Do things that focus on self-love, self-care, because I feel like once you pay attention to yourself, you heal things and face the demons within yourself, you'll start attracting better. Because that's what I realized. I started attracting better friends. I attracted my husband, because all with loving yourself, it all starts with you. And so whatever you do to, you know what I mean? And people will see that. Once they see that you love and value yourself, they'll have nothing else to do but love and respect you. They come because they know how you treat you. Come correct. Because they're like, okay, look, she's together. She's healed. So she gonna see right through the BS of not having it together.
And what's so sad too, ladies, is that they'll see you have it all together. And this is kind of what you said about a narcissist. Yeah. Girl, even if it's just not financially, even if it's just holistically as a woman, being a whole woman, being a high value woman in your femininity, in your soft space, loving on yourself, taking yourself out. Unfortunately, a broken person can't stand that. So they'll come in and they'll see your light.
You gotta use your discernment.
You gotta use your discernment. You gotta use your discernment. They'll see your light. And when I tell you, the enemy will wrap your gift up in pain. Be careful, ladies, for the exterior artificial wants and needs from a man. Nowadays, looks don't matter to me. What matters to me is how patient you are, your heart posture. How do you respond to me? How do you communicate with me? Are you patient? Are you kind? Like, do you love people?
Are you compassionate? Are you understanding? You know, how do you respond to certain situations? Like, do you anger easily? You know, like, you know, what are your triggers? It's things that you have to ask. I feel like getting to know somebody, and don't rush it. You know I hear a lot of people say, you know, especially with I notice older women, like our age, 30 up, like mid-30s. I don't know how old who's watching, but don't rush it, because I felt like I have been proposed to before when I was younger, but I also felt like a lot of times women feel like if they're not married by a certain age, hey, honey.
You show him so much, girl. Everybody like,
okay. But yeah, I feel like too, a lot of times, like, people rush into things because they feel like they're on some type of timeline. You know, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Take your time when it comes to being in a relationship. Don't rush it. Make sure that person is your person. You know what I mean? Don't look at the timestamp like, oh, I got to have a baby by 30, or I got to be married by 30. I got to have a baby at 31. Like, you know what I mean? Everything, I will say, is on God's timing, you know? So don't rush it. Don't feel like, and stop looking at social media and other people's relationships too. I think that's a big issue people have. Like, they're so obsessed with how other people are living. I'm sitting here like, baby, we was posting pictures looking happy, and it was a lie. That was not my reality. So stop being envious of other people, thinking like everybody has it all together, because they may not. And you might think, oh yeah, I wish I had her life. No, you don't. You don't know what that girl go through.
No, you don't. And if it looks too good, something wrong. Yeah. If the woman is not giving you tips on how she have been through such and such, you know, situation in the marriage or relationship, something is wrong. So my philosophy is, if it looks too good, something is wrong. If it look like salt and sugar, baby, it might be dirt. Don't play with me, because I know
that's right. I know that's right.
Girl, it ain't healthy to us. It's not healthy to the culture. Everything is so glitz and glitter. See, it's a thing called shiny object syndrome. And that can come in the form of a relationship too. The relationship is shiny. The relationship becomes an idol if you don't be careful.
Yeah. Because relationships, the reality is, marriages is not perfect. There might be times that y'all don't like each other, but you love each other, but you may not like each other. Right. But the thing is, you work through it, you communicate, and that love is still there. I think friendship in a marriage and relationship is so important. Yeah. Like, because at the end of the day, whatever problems and things that we have, we work it out because we're friends first.
Absolutely. You know, because we're friends first. And
the relationship is this, and it's built off love. Because at the end of the day, whatever problems you have, y'all already resort back to love, because that's the foundation. Yes, that's keeping y'all together. And I think she agrees.
She over here trying to talk. Daddy loves me. Okay. Yeah. And you know,
and that's so important. That's all I want to say, ladies.
Absolutely. One thing I will say, ladies, and we can wrap this up, is that butterfly phase and stage, and this is something I had to learn too. don't rush so fast because it's so exciting. And I get when it's new, when it tastes new. I'm saying just like the aroma of this woman or man, but really it's ladies here. So if it looks new, if it feels new, all that is good. But just rest in it and pray about it, because that feeling could set you up as well. Again, the enemy will come because he knows where you are in your season, that you want a man, you want a husband. Be specific as well. And again, don't look at the outside in the paper. Look at longevity, kingdom building. Look at that type stuff. So this was good, Ashleigh. Like
I enjoyed. Thank you for having. Thank you for having us.
She was a gem. Like she had something to say, girl. She had something. To
she
say.
Was like, okay, I'm up. I got something to talk about. Let me put my 2 cents in. Let me tell y'all about my daddy, because she's definitely a daddy's girl.
She spit it out. She said, "Mommy, this is enough." So tell everybody how they can find you. If they need your services, you guys see this woman is glowing.
Yes, you guys can find me actually on Facebook, because it has my like links to my Instagram and my website. But you can find me at Ashleigh Designs. It's ASHLAINE Designs LLC.
Beautiful.
You can find me there.
Go follow her, guys.
Yes,
guys. You will love all her.
Like my page.
Yes. Show love, definitely. You guys will be so happy to scroll on your timeline and see her aesthetics on your timeline, because I am always very proud of you, Ashleigh, and we love you.
Thank you.
I love you, and just everything you're showing us as women, going from this to this, but it's so possible because somebody's this is different than yours. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I knew that this was going to be good. But everybody's where you are now is also going to be different, but it gives the women hope. Ladies, it's a man that will treat you like a princess, queen, soft life, everything.
Yes, and you love your children too. If you have children already, there you go. There is a man that's willing to step up and be that man that he said he's going to be to your children, that love them. I'm thankful for my husband for loving and, just being there for my son. And doing all the things that he's not even missing out. Like, so I'm truly blessed because I have a good husband, but I also have a man that's a great wife too.
You look like a wife, girl.
So fitting, I know, and it makes a difference too, because when you got a good husband, you be quick to sell and like, yeah, no, I'm married, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Anybody trying to approach you? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You gotta show them the ring. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
If you're not bringing clarity, yes. I'm good, thanks. If you're not bringing consistent communication, I'm good, thanks. We're not selling dreams, okay?
No, we don't want no selling of the dreams. Y'all can keep that, okay?
We got our own dreams to be chasing. All right, ladies. So definitely go follow the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Claiming My Abundance. Part 2 will come. If Ashley want to do it in person, let's do it. I'm with it.
I am with it. I would love to.
All right. So yes, hon. Well, thank you so much for everything. Your transparency was appreciated, and we will have a good night.
Thank you,
baby.
Y'all. Say bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Not her hand. Bye-bye.
I'm free. I'm human, but I'm comfortable with me. I'm capable, got everything that I need. I'm focusing.